Hello everyone. Hopefully this is a good tutorial for how to use Kirra to do a blast design. So I hope I don't let you down, but initially I just wanted to show you I have a new interface for the blasting apps and just want to give you some instructions as to where to find the offline installers. Previous versions, if you ever have any dramas or you want to use a mobile phone version, then this is the page you come to. The current release of Kirra can be found by clicking on this button or by going to kirra-design.com, and other stuff or previous versions and can be found at this area here, the Kirra Design offline installers. Let's just maybe zoom in so you can see that. Yeah, so pretty cool. Go into here and then we are presented with going back to the main menu, another link to the current design, current Kirra design, and also the Kirra desktops. So if we go into here, we can see this is the most recent version. You can get a Linux, a Mac Universal, and a Windows 10. Now, obviously, these are unsigned. I am working on getting signing, but signing is an expense I wasn't prepared to do. If you also want some information about Kirra, it's how to use it and some documentation. You can also go to the Kirra documentation. I am a little behind on this and I need to do some updates here, but you'll get the general picture, I guess. Right. We'll just get back into this and we'll go back to the main menu maybe, or we'll just go straight into the application. You can see here we've got another link to it. Okay, so you can see here it's gone into dark mode. I think we'll stay in dark mode. It's a bit easier on the eyes, certainly for me. And the version number is up here and the last time it was built and what times. Is very recent, just about 10-15 minutes ago this was built. So exciting times, brand new. Here's a gratuitous beg for money. Go on, you want to do it, you want to do it. But I mean, if you don't want to buy me a coffee, but you want to get some information on other things, you can go here and go to buy me a coffee, and there's information there that might be of use. Anyway, moving in to the application, click here, and we're into the application for the first time. It's just going to come up blank. You can see here that I've also got a file browser open because I've added a new drag and drop feature, so you don't need to use the file, which has also changed. It's a bit more streamlined, but you don't have to use that anymore. You can just drag your projects across into here. Anyway, we've got on the right hand side a bit of information. Here are our toolbars. You can click these and select. Now, an issue that does occur is that someone might drag this off to the side of the screen and then they'll take their computer off. They'll be using it on the laptop, and that'll mean that the information you see there, you might find these menus disappear if they're dragged off the screen. So if you ever get into that situation, again, just change the size of the web browser and you can you can find these back again. Anyway, you get several menus here and you just click them off and they pop up over here. They're draggable, you can move them around. If you don't want them, just close them and they go back to the side panel. We're going to be using a few tools, holes and CAD and a few other tools in Surface and stuff to do this design. But for the moment, I'm just going to dock that down there to keep the... Now, the app opens in 2D, which is up here. You can swap to 3D, 2D, day, night. Anyway, pretty easy stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a couple of design files. We're going to bring in a pit shell. So let me just go in there and we'll just drag that in. And here we have our DXF loaded, our pit shell in here, and depending on what your tastes are and choices are, you might want these white lines to be blue. Certainly on a white background you will see that they disappear, so we're going to select those. So you can see here, and I've moved it into CAD mode, so now I'm working into the Kirra application drawing mode. And so I'm just going to select these up here, grab all those, going to right click on there and then just change the color to blue. Don't change any of the others. These are dirty flag recognized, so if you change one of these other fields, recognize it's been changed and it will change all 5 polys. Okay, so we just want to change this color. I'm going to apply. So now we have blue and red for toe, and maybe we'll go to a 3D view so that we can see what that looks like in 3D. Okay, and one of the first things you want to do with your pit shell, maybe you want to triangulate it, maybe you don't, but let's triangulate it. So we'll get the surface menu up, and we're going to use this triangulate tool. But first of all, we're going to, oh yeah, we can just use it. I've changed that since then. So we'll call this, oops, pit shell. Oh, I can't, curry. My goodness me. Must have the caps lock on. Yeah. All right, pit shell. So here we are. We don't have any blast holes, but that's going to be fine. We're going to exclude those. Going to include these as constraints. Now this is important. Force triangles onto the edge. They're break lines or constraining edges. So it forces a triangle to share the edge of one of these lines. We don't care about duplicates and all that sort of stuff. Pretty much that's all we need. We're going to go with the hillshade, and we're going to pick a boundary clipping. So we're going to delete triangles outside the polygon, and we're going to click on that. We're going to select that. So now we've got a polygon that's going to clip any triangles outside that. We're just going to click create. Okay, so now we have a pit shell. Yeah, triangulated. It's a relatively easy triangulation tool. So target for our blast holes to stick onto, and if we're a little concerned about it blocking out the lines in 3D because the lines are so thin, you can right click on it and do that, and maybe we'll pick a different color, maybe brown, or we can pick a elevation color, but there you go, bit of a brown. Maybe we'll take it a little bit. Okay, nice. Transparent triangulation. Okay, pretty easy. You see everything through. Now if you want to see all that stuff, it's in this area here, the data explorer, and in here we can see our pit shell. That's our pit shell. Certainly if there's things we want to remove or edit our pit shell, we can select this pit shell and edit it. Okay, and then up here we have our pit shell, called it play pit. We've got lines, and so when we select these we can see what those lines are. That seems to be a mini brake line, just to force some triangulation. Brake line, actually. Look at that. That's given us a bit of a problem in there. Well, that's not very good. So that's a bad brake line. What we could do in that case then is we can edit that. Get our modify tool up, and we're going to use the move tool. I'm going to select this point. Now, maybe now. Yep. Crazy. Very bad. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, there you go. I don't know why that was playing up, but you can see here I've changed that brake line to force it to connect to this area here. So what we might do is we'll re-triangulate our triangulation. So that will mean we'll just delete this one. Okay, let's delete that. And so now we have this brake line. Let's just stick our 3D rotation onto that and check that that brake line is attached to the right line, and it is now. That's much better. Okay, so now that's more correct. So we will retriangulate. Pretty easy. So I'm just going to reset to the top down, looking down. And again, I'm going to select my button here. We'll call this pitch shell. And we will get all those are good. Going to delete triangles outside. We're going to select this. We're good again. All right. We'll just change that again to this color. Take the transparency down. Okay. And straight away we can see that brake line is much neater. We don't have a little divot in the pit here, so we wouldn't have blasted incorrectly, and that's great work. So good pick up there from us. Then we've got these various lines now. Depending on the DXF, they may be named or they may not be named. So that's important. But you can name them again. We'll go back to the extents here. Now we can select these from this side here, and we can find these elevations, which one we're looking for. Well, we'll call this one ramp 1. Ramp 1. Ramp 1. Or you could call it 280 or 280, yeah, 280 to 270. Yeah, I think it is. So we could name them like that. That makes sense. Rename. How do I know it's that? Because if I hover over here, I can see down the very bottom of the screen there's a magnet symbol. It's very small to see, but you might see it. It says 270 down in the data text. The alternative in that is we can use the measure tool. We can click on the measure tool, and we can see our first Z1 is 270 and our Z2 is 280. So that's the other way. It's 100 meters, it's a 10 meter rise, and it's a 5.7 degree slope, or a 10% slope. Okay, seems fairly much the same. And so then we can go through and rename these. Now this is not for blast design, but like, who really cares? But we can rename these, especially if we want to save them Yeah. Especially if we want to save them to the files. Okay, right. But sorry, I heard some reverb there from the recording, so I was just getting a bit distracted. Yeah, so these are intermediaries, so maybe we'll call this, oh, I called that ramp 1. That should be renamed to, I don't know, 290 to 280. Yeah. Good. All right. Okay, well, we can rename to the heart's content, but these are the ones we want, this one here. So let's find that one. Obviously, it's a bit noisy, and it's easier if everything's named. Here you go. So we've got one here. This is going to be the toe 270. Maybe put a dash there. Toe 270. Yep, rename down there. So that's definitely one we want to use. And then we're up here. Here you go. Perfect. And we'll rename that, and that'll be crest 280. All right, so essentially those are the ones we need to work with. So we don't really need the other ones. So let's just keep crest and toe and maybe the ramps for information. And maybe one more. Difficult to find, isn't it? Clicking around like this. What is this one? Okay, not that one. This one here. What's this one called? 12. Okay. Cancel that. Very good. 12. Rename, and we'll call this toe 280. Yeah, radio. Cool. All right, so we're good. We've got that done. We've got a couple of bits of information here. We don't really need the rest of this, so we can hold down the shift key, click all those, and then we can right click and hide. So now we have only these areas of concern. Sorry about that. Yeah. And we can also hide our triangulation if we want. So now we've just got this. Oh, what else do we need? Well, we're doing a blast, so we probably should get the blast master in, right? Okay, so that's why I've got this bit over here wasting space at the moment because of this new drag and drop feature, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to blast master and you drag that in. There you go. So we've got now blast masters. And you can see over here, there they are in the Blastmaster DGD. What have we got here? Oh, we got a bounds. So we'll just rename. Oh, I duplicated it. So I'm going to delete the duplicate and rename, and we'll call it, what is it? The 270 bounds. So we'll call it bounds 270. I mean, it's essentially the crest, right? But don't want to get confused, so we'll rename that bound 270. And these were our blasts, right? So we got 1, so blast 1 is in there. What was this going to be called? We'll call it ABC 270 because that's our target, or maybe I'll use dashes. 270 dash 001. Okay. All right, so that's our blast bounds or blast limits. And so maybe we want to call it limits. Yeah, rename. Well, that's all we need is those two, because that's the design we're going to do. We don't really need the rest of these. So we're going to grab those and hide those. We can hide them individually like that, or we can hide all of them. Anyway, they're all hidden. Let's have a little look from the top down. Now, some things are more fun in 2D than they are in 3D and vice versa. So anyway, so we've got this sorted out, and then what else do we need to do a blast design? Well, we can either make up our own blast designs or we can add some templates. So let's get the holes up here. We can pop the surface and modify away, and we can got this pattern templates up here. So so you can either add and create new ones, duplicate them, all that sort of stuff. But I've prepared a set before, so I'm going to import them. And so I'm just going to go and find those. Desktop in here. Oh, there they are, pattern templates. Okay. Okay, so I've imported the pattern templates there, and we've got quite a few to choose from. Probably use one of these 140s for the production, and this 115 buffer for the wall control. I think so. Okay, pretty happy with that. Maybe we use maybe these. Nah, 140s. All right, doesn't really matter. We're going to just have a play. Okay, so we've got this done. Now we have a few options on how to do this. We can do it off the existing line work, or we can create more line work. So let's create more line work. I'm going to close these up here, and we're going to make a new layer, add a new layer, and we'll call this ABC 270 001 LW line work, something like that. Create. Okay, and you can see it's active, but we can confirm that it's active by making it active, right here. And so hopefully, now it is a bit glitchy. Hopefully it'll work. All right, so we're going to offset this line here. So we will need the modify tool. Yeah, and so we're going to use this offset line here, offset CAD. Yeah, click that. I'm going to click this, and now that we've got it, you can see in here there's a dashed line. Well, we just changed that to be what we want to offset it is as, and maybe we've got a protection area of, I don't know, 0.3. They're only very small holes. 115, so yeah, 0.3. That will give us, a couple of 175 mil off the wall, right here. I think so. We'll make that yellow since we work, or maybe this golden color, because then if we change to white, we can see it. Pretty much that's it. We just want distance here. If we were going to offset that vertically, then we would probably look at the vertical distance, which is vertical priority, but we're going to be doing it that one. Okay, just one offset. Yeah, offset that. And then while we're there offsetting, so we'll just check. Oh, see, it's done its thing where I don't like it. So we're going to move this into this line work here, but let's rename it first. We'll call it buffer. Yeah, buffer, batter, whatever you want to name it, right? And I'm going to move this into our 270 line work. And I'm going to add a new layer because I don't like this 0 layer thing, but I've done it to be AutoCAD compliant. We're going to call this, I don't know, skeleton. Oops. Skeleton, right? So skeleton buff. Okay. Right, so we've moved that line work into skeleton buff. That's where it sits in our polygons category. Right there, and we're going to do another offset. Here we are, got that again. We're going to click on that. And what are we going to do an offset for? We're going to do the next offset, which is going to be our production holes. So what did we decide was going to be our production run? Here it is. Let's just check. We're going to use this 271 here. So it's 4.6 by 4.2. So, well, that's a bit odd. Might have to edit that. We want a 4.2 by 4.6. There you go, pretty good. So our burden offset would be 4.2. Okay, right. Yeah, we can probably make this easier by changing this one here to 270.0.1. Now the key with joining patterns is to have your patterns grouped together so that they're under the same blast name. And if they're under the same blast name, they get added on and the holes increment along. If they're under different blast names, well, you can have duplicate IDs in there. So we'll save that. Yeah, I think so. That's good. 1.2. Yeah. All right. Let's we'll use that. So it's 4.2 out of interest. So we're going to offset this 4.2. And we're going to do it negative 4.2 because that's what it is. And we'll make this a little bit different color. I know. This sea greeny blue color. Offset. Okay, so now we have another set here, and that should have gone into our. Hopefully, it's gone into it. No, again. See, now I have to be smarter about this, and I'll have to fix all that because that is annoying, especially if you're doing it. But this will be prod holes. Yeah, prod's fine. Rename, and I'm going to move that into our skeleton, and we'll just call it in. We'll just put it in the same one. It's fine. All right, cool. So we've got buffer and prod, and now it doesn't make sense to call this skeleton buff, so I'm just going to rename it for the sake of it. Okay. So now we have skeleton. We have these polygons here, right here. Okay, so we are going to untick that because we don't want to use that tool anymore. And now we've got 2 offset lines, and we're going to, what do we got here? We got a whole point there that we can extend, and one here that we can shrink back to here. So I think let's first of all break this line. I think that's a good idea. Let's break our production line. So we can split the CAD lines with this button, right? And so we've already conveniently selected this thing here, and now we have to just pick the points. Pick that point over there, and we'll pick this point here, and we're going to delete the original, and so we'll be left with 2 broken lines. We'll split and close the dialog. Okay. And so that should have worked. Let's hope it did. It doesn't look like it worked. No, it didn't work. That's very disappointing. Here I am trying to sell this off as functional. Let's just try it again. Click this. We'll click our line. We've got it. We're going to click our points there, one there, one there. Tip and delete the original. Split and close. There you go. And you can see here we've got a line here, and that should have prod 1, prod 2. Yep, and we're going to we'll get rid of this one. Just going to delete that one. All right, cool. Now we've got our production bounds, and we're going to extend the line here with this tool. We'll click on that and snapped it to that bit, and we'll click on this one and we'll snap it to that one. Good work. We're going to take this one here, we'll hide that, untick that, and we're going to select this one here. Do it this way, select, and we are going to close it. Okay, so we've now made a closed line tool here, and we're going to do the same to this yellow one. I'm going to shorten this one to here. Hopefully that works. It's very difficult. It might be best to insert a line here, because you can see here that that halfway point is, let's just try this to show you what it would look like. It would look like that, and that point is right very close to halfway. It'd be tough to decide whether it's this one or that one. Anyway, so we might insert another point here. So we'll click our select that line, and we'll insert a point, and now we've got a midpoint there. Excellent. And we might just check the other side. I think this one will be okay because we've got so much space between points, so that'll be okay. So we're going to break this line as well. Okay, move that off there. Going to grab this one here. Okay, and we're going to find this point, and when the circle goes bright green, we know we're on a point. And over here, all right, and we're going to split. Okay, and that, yep, that's got a buffer line A and B. So what do we got? That's B. We're going to get rid of B. Delete. All right, wow, we didn't click that delete the others, did we? So we're going to just delete that one as well. Whoops, sorry, my bad. Delete, hitting the delete key, and we're going to do the entire entity. There you go. So that's pretty good. Let's just see if we line these up with the edge. Yeah. So now they're aligned. Going to get this one here. Perfect. Right. So now we have our skeleton for this, and what did we do? We've got 2 files in there. So buffer A. Oh, we moved it, did we? I think we might have moved it. Or we've got 2. Let's find out. We've got prod A. Oh, there you go. Prod A, prod B in our line work. So they're both in zeros. See, that's a bit disappointing. It's because we deleted that other one. There you go. It deleted our skeleton buffer and our production buffer because we're using this one. So we will we'll just leave it like this. Stuff it. We're not going to rename things. Okay. Okay, so now we've got our skeleton here. We're going to do some blast designs, and this is the easy bit. Oh, what do we need for a blast design? We've got a target for them to snap to. We'll need a surface for them to snap to. for the design. So let's bring in a surface over here. Go back to there. I think survey file here. And I think it's these here, this one here, and this one. Those three. Pretty sure that's what we need. I'm going to drag those in. Okay, cool. All right, so we now got a surface in there. What do we got? That surface there. Good. Let's just reset the view because I think we have an image on top, which is this one here. Because every time we bring in OBJ, in order to show it in 2D, we need an image. But we don't want to see that, so we're going to turn that off, right? But in 2D, you won't see it. You can see here in 2D that the points are snapping because it tells you that there's a topo there, but you can't see it because it's got a texture. If you want to see this topo, you would need to change it to a hillshade in 2D. So that's just a bit of a thing to do. You can't see it, so we'll go into the other screen, into 3D. You can see that this has got the full surface. Do we want to use this? At the moment, we can show you the whole thing, so that's what it kind of looks like. Yeah, so we can make it transparent a little. Okay, so you can kind of see this is our pitch shell and our line work. So we don't need all that information on at the moment. We just need it later on, right? So I'm going to hide that now, and we'll hide this topo as well because we don't need that. All right, and we're going to do this blast design. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Oh, what else would we need? We would need charging, right? So we should bring in our chargers. And now you can, if you don't have any products in here, you might want to export the template and then re-import that template, and then you get it. Now I've done that earlier, so I'm going to import my template here, which is this one, Kirra charging. And so the export template has a group of products in there predefined already. You can then edit these as your heart is content. And we're going to edit these things here. I think we're going to delete a few of these ones through there. We'll delete the surface connectors because I'm not going to do surface connectors. I'm going to do electronics. Delete. So we don't need these in this database, but or you can leave them in there. It doesn't matter, but it's just going to crowd up the connector. When we get to that point, you'll see in the connect here, whenever we have these surface connectors and we have named them surface connector, they show up in here when they're type surface connector. Any of these three down the bottom, surface connector, surface wire, or surface cord, will show up over here. Okay, just FYI. But I'm going to get rid of them because I just don't want them in there crowding it up. And I'm going to get rid of the MS downholes. And we'll go with electronics. Don't need cord. We'll delete the cord. I'll keep the rest. Don't need any pre-splits or package. I mean, you don't have to do this. And I mean, we are also drilling 115 mil. So maybe we need another product here. Maybe we need to add a product. A high explosive product, a booster, type booster, and we'll call this BS 250. So we'll use some 250s on the 115 mil generic density. I don't know, 1.6. color. Well, we'll give it a orange color, maybe. We can leave description there. This one we'll put in 250 grams and diameter. Look, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'm going to guess that it's 45 mil. Since a 450 is about 56. So maybe this is like 47. I don't know. Length, it's going to have to be around the 100 to 110 mil. So just to fit a detonator in it. VOD 7000. They always are. I don't know what the relative explosive energy is. I'll check the other boost to see what we've got on that. Okay, so I've got this extra booster here. Let's check this edit. This booster here, here 5200. Okay, it'll be the same. Okay. All right, is it water resistant? Yes. Is it cap sensitive? Yes. Radio. Okay, we'll save that. All right, so now we got a 250. I'm going to use DT4s on this. I'm going to rename it just so that we know what it's called. We'll call it Davytronic 4s SP. So that's what we'll have, and we'll just, because they helped me out a lot in getting, they were very friendly in getting the format for their detonators. So we'll just put that in there. That's fine. That can stay. Yeah, let's go. Okay, save. Now, one thing when we're doing electronics, we need to make sure that we have our harness wire correctly set up. I'm going to edit this. I'll call this, I'll make it grey. Harness wire, 2 mil electronics. I don't know. NAX. Just for that. And then we're going to pick one of these electronic systems. Unfortunately, SPs and the DT5s are the only ones that I'm really fully supporting. The DigiShots, all these can go out via VXT, and I haven't even looked at icons. I do have an IIKN export, but I'm not sure if it works. Hanwha, it's just a CSV. I haven't even tried it. Yeah, but anyway, you need to assign your surface wire with your explosive, your detonator type. That's what drives the formatting of the detonator. Okay, it's the harness wire in this case. It was just easier to do it that way. Okay, so our harness wire is that, and we're all good. I think we're good. Okay, so we've set up our products. We've got our patterns. Let's make some blast holes. Okay, so we've got a line and this polygon. So let's just do that. We'll do the holes along polyline. Okay, and that will be our first one. And so we'll grab that. Yeah, and we'll grab that line is our start point. This one over here is our end point. And see here, we've already set up our templates. You can change it. We're going to use buffer. Just have to check these elevations because we don't want it on the wrong elevation. Just set it to 280 and this one to 270. You can use grade. This is ticked. Best to use the grade. If you're just doing length, then you untick that and you change the length. Right. We're not going to have sub drill. That's good. No angle. That's 115. That's fine. That's all good. We want to make sure our blast name's correct. ABC, that's what our blast name is. Template and buffer is our hole type. Okay, and just check this one below here. Reverse direction, it won't matter. We're using the whole line. Okay. All right, so here we have our buffer holes starting there and going around. We could probably add one more on that, but we'll decide in a little bit. It's obviously very close to this edge point. Let's look down at the top. I think we'll add one more before we get started. So we'll grab that, holes, click on this one, and we'll insert. We're going to insert after, and inserting after means after as in more numbers, so higher number. If we insert before, we'd get a hole here. Insert after, we'll get a hole over here at the spacing. So we'll go insert after. Right, cool, good. On the direction, excellent. Easy. So 70 holes along the buffers. And if you want to, you can group these with a new feature, which is a grouping, and we can assign a group to those holes. And so we can either select them and assign a group, or we can use a formula, assign a group. So if we wanted to use a formula, we would type something like fx colon, and then we would say, what do we got? Subdrill length. Yeah, subdrill length, capital L there, is equals 0. All right, so if we're, or let's say less than 0, or less than or equal to 0, that way we'll capture everything. Less than or equal to 0. Okay, let's see what we get there. We're gonna, and what is this group name going to be called? We're going to call it no sub. Let's just put it as one word, or dash sub, no sub. There you go. All right, assign. Okay, now if it worked, it'll say 70 holes as per a formula. Okay, so now that is a group. So now you can just select on that group instead of selecting one of these holes in here. Okay, I thought that was cool. All right, so the next one is this pattern in the polygon, right? So we're going to use pattern in polygon. Pretty easy. So we're going to select this line here, and we're going to go, let's see what way we've got. Going to click that. Now the arrow here points to holes get, so this is saying holes get more higher in numbers, right? So they get, so the number 1 or the lowest numbers will be closest on this side of the line. But I kind of don't like that where that is, because I think I want to get my distribution at my wall correct. So I'm going to hit the escape key, and that will stop the tool. And we're going to go back to that tool there, and we'll select this, and we're going to go along this way, right? And in the same way, so the shorter numbers, or the shallower numbers, the smaller numbers in the blast holes are going to be on the left-hand side. Okay, click there, and then I'm going to use a reference point. I think I'm going to use this corner, but I'm going to use it really close to the corner, but not exactly, so really close, but so close to that corner, we're going to just go inside so that we don't lose any holes a little. There you go, there's our reference point, and we're going to pick our template. Now we had already set this up. We're going to check that the burden's right, because we noticed that was wrong before. 4.2, 4.6, yep, good-o. Production, oh, and the name. Need to make sure that it's the same name as this, because we want to add it, ABC 270.0.0.1. That's correct, so we're going to put it there. All right. This has 1.2 subdrill. Okay. All right, let's confirm that. Now it's gone bright white. Why? Because we're so close to the hole. So we're just going to zoom out. That's how close we were. All right, so now we have this pattern here of blast holes in there, so that's good. And we've got a few gaps, obviously, but we can add holes in here. So we're going to insert some holes at the end of the row, and insert holes at the end of this row. So let's let's do that over here. So we will select our select tool, select our hole, right click, and the key here is to, so this is a before, insert before. There you go. This is a insert after. Insert after. Insert before, sorry. Before. After. Pretty boring stuff, hey? Insert. We did an after, it's a before. This is a insert after, and we're good. So we'll come back to those. They're outside the thing. We'll do this other side. And we're going to insert. Sorry, I didn't even pay attention. 87, 86, so it's an insert after. Insert after. And this is an insert before. This is a bit of a, do we add another one? I mean, we're going to blow the shit out of the wall. Excuse my language. So we'll skip 122 for now. We'll decide later. And what did we say here? Let's just cancel that. Make sure that we got the hole properly. 150. This is an insert after. And this is an insert before. I think that's good. These ones are going to move. And these ones are going to move, right? Okay, so moving holes. Now you can do it a couple of ways. We can do it really, really accurately. So should we do it really accurate? I think we'll do it really accurately. Let's get our CAD tool up again. We're going to change this to, I don't know, pink. And we're going to use the line tool. We're going to digitize a few of these. Bang. 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 Now, Kirra, the application, snaps automatically to these points. So you have, if you don't want to snap, you just zoom in. If you want to be close to it, but you don't want to snap, you just zoom in, right? But working precisely is how you make people understand that drill and blast is not voodoo medicine or something like that. Drill and blast is actually a science in some format, and so doing this is key to this. So now I've got that there. I don't want it, so I'm going to right click and it's going to ask me, oh, hey, a line needs 2 points. I'm going to discard that. Radio. Click here. Not that this needs moving, but we'll just do that. Radio. So we've drawn our line. Another right click to get out of that tool, and we're going to go and extend these lines to these points. Pretty groovy. I love this tool. It's one of my favorite tools in any application. Don't need that, like is line extension. I just think it's a very cool tool. Wrong one. So good. I mean, this is just so good. I mean, look how easy this is. I love it. Oh, this took like quite a few arguments to get this realized. Now, we don't want to get confused. So with this line work here, so let's just, we know where our points are going to go. They're going to go on the end of these pink stuff. So we will just hide this one. And now we're going to go to the move tool here, and we're in the hole mode. And then we should be able to grab these holes. Yep. And they'll snap to those points. Oh, how good. Now, because we digitized on points, they should be stuck to these points here. Yeah. All right. And this puts it right in the right spot. So there our edge is nice and well managed. And we're going to drag this one into here. This is so good. I'm so happy that this is all working properly. You have no idea how many dramas this program writing is on your soul. Okay. So we've got all that, and we had that line there. We've got a whole bunch of lines here. These, I guess, are all these ones. Yeah. So we don't kind of need them, but we've got these infills and they're not really distributed. Now these rows are not really distributed correctly. So we might leave those because we know which ones we moved. So we might leave those. And then what was the, oh, here, this one. Here, that one. We'll turn that one back on. Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying is we've moved these points. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this again, but we're going to use the CAD tool and the move, and we're going to move because we're going to make the infill properly. So we're going to move these points to here now. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're going to insert points along here, but let's just do all these while we're in that tool. That one we can forget about. We'll go down here. We can turn these stupid text off. Put it there. That there. Oh, that's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? It's in the right spot here, so we'll come back, we'll delete that one. Or we'll just move it across to here so that we don't get distracted by it. Okay, so there must have been a little bit of a fiddle there that I had. Okay, so why, you're saying why do we need to do that? We're going to distribute these holes. So now we're going to go back to here and we're going to right click, insert, and we've got a midpoint. So now we've got the midpoint of this. So now we're distributing our holes a bit better. Oh, that was a bit silly. I was stuck on that stupid line there. Insert, doesn't matter, we've got the first one which is there, so this one we could insert, yeah, and insert. This is so good. I'm really happy about this. Insert, it's all working very well. For generally, you know, I get to do a tutorial and I've broken something in the application and I didn't realize, and this is amazing. Insert, oh, very close. We probably don't even need to move some of these. But all this is building the backbone of your blast to be accurate and providing good results. So now that we have that, we're back into move, but we're going to go to the hole mode. Make sure you change to the hole mode, and we're going to grab our hole and we're going to snap it. See, we can snap it, snapped, and then snapped, snapped. Right here, don't need to do any of the others. They're not. This one was the one we messed up and did a lot of, or I messed up, not we. I did a lot of extra points there. All right, see how that snaps? So that's how you get it, right? So much effort has gone into this, so I hope everyone appreciates. All right, this is fully done, right? So now we can turn off these lines, this skeleton work. We can turn off that probably. So we now got this blast in here. We've got extra points. What did we have? We had our blast master. And we had our bounds on, so we can turn off our bounds, but we can turn on our limits, and this is our blast. So got a hole outside the limits here, so let's get rid of these holes because, like, well, we could blast them. They're only buffer holes and then they're right on the boundary, so it might be okay. But for that one that we added, I'm going to get rid of, right? So when we do that, we just delete, and then it's going to ask if to renumber the holes after deletion. And this is, yes, you should do this now because we're going to renumber the holes. And so we're not going to end up with gaps in our naming. So we go yes. And we'll start at 1. Okay, that's all right. That's going to be on the other side. So 1 is going to be the other side. Yeah. So we can see that it's still 69 and then the holes are all changed. So then we go over here. We're going to delete 2 holes actually. So here we're going to delete this 2 and 1. And so we're going to go to that. And we can hold down the shift key, grab that at that, and then we can delete these. Yeah, delete those. And do you want to renumber? Yes, we want to renumber, and we can watch the holes. This should change in number. This should be 1. Okay. Yep, 1. All right, good. All right, so yeah, 68, good. Now we've just deleted those. Okay. We've got so now we've got our group of these guys have been put in the wrong group. So that's no good. So we will, because we deleted, we had extra holes there. So we might just grab these holes here, 1 and 2, and we will, let's see if we can, this is new to me as well because I haven't used this bit. I never really thought about it. We'll remove those from the group. Okay, 67 holes, excellent. I removed 1 and 2. What a silly idiot. 1 and 2 I need, so we will assign group, and we're going to assign them to sub. Okay, assign. That's fine. And we will go down, and what wants to be 68 and 69 we had to remove. Okay, so 68 and 69. Well, it might be just easier to do it up the top here. Okay. And we'll use the polygon select. Double click. 69, 60, and we will remove from group. Okay, so that should be 67. Radio, and we will see if we get it's excellent. Look at that. Great. All right, so now we're going to hide that group. Can we hide that group? Probably not. Okay, so maybe I haven't got that wide up yet. Anyway, moving on, we're going to grab these blast holes. And we can do it a couple of ways. We can write another formula, or we can select them and just call them production. So we can write another formula. Let's write another formula. So we're going to assign a group, and we're going to call this a new group, and we're going to call it prod. That would be easier, prod. And we're just going to use this one here. You can see this, it says fx hole type double equals production. Yeah, so we're going to use that one there now. Fx colon hole type equals inverted commas production. Close. Right, so now that's going to be our next one, and we're going to assign that group. Okay, so we've got 120 holes and 67, and that adds up to a total of 187. So that's good. So if we grab that, there are all our production holes. We grab that, that's all our buffer holes, or no sub. Okay, good work. So everything's good. What haven't we done? Well, we need to assign these holes targets. Yeah, because they're just in midair at the moment at default elevations. So moving on, we're going to bring these back on. Okay, and so now we have our blast holes, yeah, and our top, and we're going to grab everything. So we just select the blast at its parent level. All the holes are selected, and we've got here, we're going to select assign surface, and it's got a pick thing here, so we're going to pick the topo. Yeah, that's the one we want. We're going to use that one. Okay, so now they're all snapped to the surface. Now we don't need to assign the target because we set that up in the pattern, but to show everyone what the problem is, or show everyone what it's like, we'll assign these holes here to the toe, and we're going to assign the grade and then calculate the toe from the subdrill using the pit shell. So we just use this first one. Okay, so it's all done. Now you'll see something of note is that there's a big bump in here. Some blast holes is a big bump. Let's have a look at that. I think we can use this section plane. Okay, and so we can set this to 280. That's the top of the hole, and enable it, and it's going to chop our 280, and we'll just dial this back here, 1 there, -1 there, so it's going to give us, oh, so this is the area that's a little high in our bump. I wonder how high. It looks very high, doesn't it? So what have we got? Wow, it's like 4 meters. That's, no one cleared that dirt off. Okay, so the rest of it's not too bad. What can we do to fix that? Well, we can do a few things. We can triangulate the hole collars as they stand and then edit the mesh, or we can edit this mesh. What one would you like to do? I think we'll edit this mesh and we'll digitize out these lines here. So in order to do that, we might need to just digitize around here first and make sure that we're not chopping things out. So I'll put that section plane back on. We'll enable it again, and we'll dial down. Sorry, the other way, back to 1, or maybe -0.1. Is that going to work? New ground for me as well. No, 1's going to work. So we'll do that 1, and I think that's good enough. We'll just clip around there. So we'll get the CAD tools here, and we'll use the polygon tool, and we're going to digitize around here. I think that's good enough there. That's the area that we're going to work on. Okay, I think that's good. We can use that. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back off again and close, and then we will hide our blast. Quite an in-depth little tutorial, isn't it? Let's hide everything except for that digitized line here, this one here, that one there. We want that one, so we'll just make that a bit thicker so we know that that is the line for us. 3 pixels. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get rid of the other ones. We don't want any of the other stuff on. So let's just hide that. And we'll hide our pit shell. Yeah, we just want to work on this bit here because we're going to edit this mesh. Now it might be easier to set this mesh to a hillshade in order to see that better. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better. And we'll probably don't want that other pit shell on. So we'll hide that one. There you go. Okay, so that's that big lump there that we're going to get rid of. You can see, oh, it's massive. Who the hell did that? Oh, and there's probably another one over there. Oh my God. Anyway, showing you the flexibility of this program is a great thing for me. So let's grab that and we're going to edit this mesh. And so how do we do that? We've right clicked on the mesh. I'm going to click clean. Yeah, very good. Now we've got a wire mesh. I've got some check surfaces. You don't really need to know about this because we're just going to edit the mesh. So we're going back to this one, edit mesh. Oh my goodness me, what did I do wrong here? Okay, that's very odd that I've got that set up. Oh, I need to re-triangulate it, don't I? So we need to do it the other way. Triangulate the holes that we snapped. Very good. Okay, well, interesting news for me. I didn't realize I had stopped that, but OBJs in 3JS are different to triangle meshes that I have in Kirra, so that's good news. We can't edit that. So let's hide that. We don't want to know about that. We'll turn on our blast again. We can see our dodgy holes up here. We could just manually change those to lower, but let's triangulate these holes. So the first step is we want to hide everything that you don't want triangulated, hide it. Okay, so now we just got clean, we just got the holes, and we're going to triangulate that. So we need the surface tool. There it is. We're going to triangulate that top button there, and we're going to call this topo. Yeah, topo holes. Or should we do holes topo? Holes topo. Yeah, cool. This is a long tutorial, isn't it? We've been going for quite a while. An hour and 12, jeepers. Blast hole points, we're going to get collar points. Sounds good. We don't need to worry about this. It's just as points. It doesn't matter, but points will be quicker. If we do it this way with just points, it'll be quicker because it follows a different pathway. We don't need this boundary clipping. We don't care about that for this one. You could use it if you had a very convoluted thing, but that's all good. We're going to do that. And just to make this a bit unique, we're going to use the default so that we can see the height. Okay, and we'll click create. Okay, so we have created a surface based on the holes, and we're going to clean that now. We're going to clean these. Now, if we had clipped it, we would have got rid of those dodgy points there, but that's all right. We can fix that. So let's get rid of this blast again, and now we're working with this stuff, and we will just make sure that we're, yeah, got no transparency issues. Okay. Sorry, I had to have a drink. Radio. Okay, let's edit this. So we're going to clean this mesh. And we will edit the mesh. Now that's our main tool set. We're gonna let's close this one up. We don't need to know about it, and we'll just leave that over there. And we're gonna clean this. So the easiest way for us will be to select these vertices and I'm going to use the polygon select, and we can use faces, but I'm going to use vertices, and we're going to click through here with the polygon tool. Right, we'll just give that a little spin. Oh, jeepers, there's some triangles over here that go up, but there's no vertices selected, so that shouldn't delete those, but if it does, we'll rebuild it. All right, I like that. Okay. Okay, and then we'll hit the trash can. All right, now our points are gone. Very good. And then these little Darrow things here we can use, their faces. So we can use the polygon again. Grab down there. Oh, that didn't do very good selection, did it? Who knows if it got him? It looks like it got one. Well, let's just click on the faces instead. All right, there they are. That one there. We can hold down the Shift key or select multiple faces. Yeah, I think so. Delete those. Excellent. Oh, there's a Darrow line. Isn't that a Darrow line? Got it. Delete. Yeah. Don't want a shitty triangulation. Delete that. Yeah, these are pretty wild little triangles in there. Anyway, those can stay. They're all right. It's a bit, yeah, I mean, they're a bit odd, but the holes won't get them. We're only going to select this bit anyway. The others stuck well to the other part of the triangulation, so we can get rid of these. That's just the point, is to show you the application in its form, what it's doing and how versatile it is, and you know how many features it has. All right. All right. That's good. A couple of crossed over triangles in there. That's all good anyway. Looks good to me. See, now, yeah, there I was saying you don't need that boundary because yeah, you don't need it. But this is pretty good. That's what we need. And so then we're going to make some triangles with the insert triangles, right? Now we're just going to use these ones. So make your triangles quite nice. Maybe we look top down. It'll be easier looking top down, right? And so we'll just make these triangles nice for you. All right, pretty easy. So we finished our triangulation. We built that correctly. I think we'll close that. I think that's pretty good. And we'll close that. We don't need to check it. Because all we're going to do is grab a few of the holes. And so we'll turn those holes back on. And they're a little bit difficult to see at this point. Oh, and I wonder if there's enough meat around these holes. What do you think? Probably should have turned this on. Yeah, I think we'll just add a couple more triangles. Clean. We're going to edit the mesh. Just move that off to the side here. Right up there. Insert a triangle. Yep, that one. That one. That on that point. Looks a little high, doesn't it? It's all right. Right, that's pretty good. I think so. Okay, we'll close that and we'll close this. Okay, we'll hide that one. And so now we have a new surface where we can snap these holes to it. So let's just grab the holes that we need through there. Got our holes and we're going to stick them to the surface. Okay. Right, now it didn't ask me for the surface because it's the only surface available, so it stuck it to them. Okay, and the toes are still in the same spot. So we didn't get an option to ask because the only one visible. So if you had another surface visible, you get asked. Radio. Okay, so now we've got our blast done. So we can hide that triangulation. Essentially, that is our blast design. So you could leave, and this would be your blast design. Oh, you want whole length? Well, we can see what that's on there. Yeah, and so we can turn that on. Yeah, and sometimes it's nicer in 2D. Yeah, and then if you want to rotate this screen to fit it better, you hold down the Alt key and the Shift key, and if you're any good, hold on, what have we got? Alt, Shift, and then you can rotate. Yeah, good work. Okay, how do you feel about that? Oh, do you want a summary? Oh, well, maybe you want a summary on your map. Well, you can have a summary on your map. It's pretty easy. We can just go with our CAD tools. Give our text here. Let's pick a color that looks good. Red, yellow, red. Yeah, red will show up on both, or blue. Anyway, so we'll go with add text. And so 12 point, yeah, text. And then I'm going to grab this formula builder. And you can see here we've got a full summary or a charge summary. We haven't done any charging. Oh, that's what we should do. We'll end that first. End this tool. That's our text tool. So we'll add some charges, right? So we've got these two groups, and we can grab our prod holes and we can do a charging on our prod holes. So now that we're there, we can let's hide some of this stuff here. And now we can go into our deck builder or our charge rule builder. And here we have it. Now we can pick some other rules, like we can apply a rule. So we can select a rule from we've got a few standard single decks and all that sort of stuff. We can apply a rule, right? Or you can save a rule, or we can just build one pretty easily. So let's say we're going to use a compressible product. We'll just drop that on the bottom there. Don't worry about this stuff. And then we can edit this deck and we'll change it to, and that's right, and stemming. Okay, and in here we'll go 0 and then whatever our stemming is. Let's say it's going to be 2.8 meters. Stemming, we're going to stick this to a fixed length. So it will always be 2.8. Okay, we'll update that. Now, that's all good. That's done. Let's just double check this and we'll link this deck to the top. So that's now stuck to the top. And then before we do that, we'll edit this deck too. And we want to use this, see here. So we'll click in this box. We can highlight it, whatever. And you then click here and you go whole length. That's good, whole length. Right, now this is always going to be stuck to whole length, and I'm just going to say variable so it reevaluates all the time, and we'll update that. Okay, so this is our, we can see here we've got an extra, got a little bit of a deck down here, so we'll just squeeze that up. Oh, terrible thing. Remove that deck, and we'll edit this deck again. update. Okay, so now that's always going to be whole length. Okay, pretty easy. We can add the primer. You just add it, right? Add it as per, this is, yeah, 400 grams, because these are the big holes, aren't they? So, or the bigger holes. So we add that, but then you click this, and you edit the primer. And at this point, you can set the formula. So you might want to go whole length minus 1 meter, right? And so it's always going to be the whole length minus 1. Or you might want to say whole length minus whole length times 0.1, and then it'll be 10%. So you can write some pretty convoluted formulas in there. We'll apply that and we'll update it. So now that primer is now set there. What else do we need here? No, that's fine. And then we can apply to the selected holes down here. I think that's good. Apply. Yeah, it's going to replace everything. Okay, and close. And for some reason it comes up with this. Just if you think you've applied everything, just discard, because it's applied. Okay, and then you can determine whether you've applied it correctly. You'll see these, and then if we make this a bit, well, we don't need any of this anymore, so let's just double click so that we're nice and big now. But you can, if we adjust the hole size, you will see the charging criteria there in 2D. So that's the 2D charging model. So they've all been applied. Or you can look at it in 3D. There's the 3D button. There you go. And we can dial this hole size down to 2. Yeah. And rotate that around. You can see the charging there. The reason why it's playing up like this is because we had shift rotated it, and so once you're in there, you've got to move it back like that, like reset the view. But there's those holes, pretty good. They've all got charges in them. Boosters and detonators just below sub. You can put it just above sub. It depends on what your tastes are. It's a conjecture. And then we want to add some charging to the subdrill. So now we've select those, and we do the same with our deck builder. And let's say our buffer holes are going to be a different product. They're going to be ANFO. So we're going to drop that in here. ANFO, we've got a bit of an air gap there. So let's deal with that now. Remove deck 3. ANFO, what do we, let's say we're going to have an air deck in there, yeah? So we'll put stemming at the top. Oh yeah, 2 meters, yep, edit the deck. Maybe that will be 2 meters. We will fix that length. Yep. Update. And then this is going to be that. Oh, we need a gas bag. This is a bit big for us, but we'll drop it in anyway. Always does this. We'll remove that deck and we'll reset this to, first of all, we'll select our deck. We'll link it to deck base 1. We'll link this one to deck base 2, and then we'll change this one to 2 meters. Fixed length, update. All right, you are a bit silly, aren't you? You should not be that size. You're only you're 230 mil, so you should only be 230 mil. Which is odd. Very bad. Let's remove that thing. Remove that deck. Move that up to there too. Drop that on there. How bizarre. Right. Well, I'm showing you a problem, hey? This should be, this is a fixed length, so this should never be This is a product thing, so I might have to look at that because the spacer is a fixed length and it shouldn't change. So this is going to be a fixed length of 2.230. 400 mil, I think it is actually 400 mil. 2.4, and this one is 2. Which is very disappointing that they did that, so apologize for that. And this one, edit deck, is 2. Update. Yep, and this one is linked to deck base 1. Yep, I don't know why that would have been the case, but anyway, let's say that's the case, and then we're gonna zoom out. Here I was showing you this fantastic tool, only to find out that it was, see there, it's applying it right now. It's shifting it right now, but it's must have been that deck when we deleted that deck. Okay, well, I don't want that deck. Yeah, see now it's fixed. A little bit of fiddling around here. Apologise. Yep. Oh, that's better. Okay, so here we've got this, and then we can set this deck base to well, we want this to be 6 meters, and this one to be whole length, right? Okay, good. It'll be a proportional, so we just say, but we can use evaluate. All right, and then our air is all messed up, so our air, jeepers. I'm showing you how terrible this program is when doing air decks. So let's just set this from the top down then. 6 meters. And this is deck base 2. Deck base 2, which is the air deck. This will be proportional. I think we'll do that. Proportional or variable. Yeah, variable. Update. Okay. Looks good now. Okay, perfect. All right, and we got ANFO in there, and then got to add a primer. So this is why you would set a rule up, so that you don't have to do this every time, and then you would just apply that rule. And you just save it down here, and we'll just edit this primer. But we're going to change this to a 250 gram booster because it doesn't fit in the hole, and we'll do the whole length minus 0.5. Apply that to the whole update. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've done all that. We're going to apply to that selection. Apply. Okay. Close. Yes, I know. Discard. So now we have our shot decked out with a spacer and a air deck and stemming, and everything's got a booster and detonator in it. We have been going now for 1 hour and 34. This is very boring. Rightio. So we're nearly done. A lot of this is because I'm talking as well. We're nearly done. We're going to do some electronic timing. Yeah. So we'll get this connector. And so we have this system here, and we'll hit this electronic timing panel. All right. Just close that. Make heaps of space. That's our electronic timing panel, and we've got these holes in there. We've selected them. We're going to call this V1, yeah. And we will click add. now once we've got a V1 up here, we've selected V1, that's fine. And we can turn on timing construct. We're going to click this button down here, which will assign these selected holes to this timing. So now we have 187 selected to it. Okay, now I like to use this tool in 2D initially, but it works in 3D. It's fine in 3D. 3D is good, but let's just go to 2D because it's top down. We don't have to worry about things. So go to 2D, and then we're going to draw our polyline. Okay, and so we're going to, we've set this at 100. Oh, we should have set this to like, I don't know, 16 milliseconds. And we've got that timing construct. Yep, cool. We will click here and there and there and double click. Okay, and gives us our timing construct. Oh, but it's back to front. So you get two options here. We can flip that by moving them just over this side here. All right. And you can see it's all messed up. So we're going to go auto angles. We're going to go 17. And you can see here we want to maybe turn off the charging, but this is our row down here, so we can adjust these arms, yeah, so that we get this in the right spot. Yeah, adjust the bisectors so they run up through the middle, or just offset, and we could probably move that so it is offset properly, or put it like that so that that hole actually goes at 1,000. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so that's our V there, 17 milliseconds. So we can then apply those offsets to the hole. We can turn this off and we can get a temporal mesh. And now we've got our temporal mesh across the hole, and we can go to the 3D and we can see that in 3D. So that's our temporal mesh. Okay, and then if you need to add more relief at the back, we can add more relief. This gets a little crowded, so we can hide that. And we can top down. We can turn on our relief. It's very bright. Might be best to do this in day mode. Oof, blew my brain out, that one did. But here we go, relief. So you can see here the 17. So we can add more time or more relief to this. So we can grab in here, grab around the back here. All right, and we'll just see over here. We will just give a little bit more time. Do 5, so it's extra 15. You go extra 20 milliseconds, and then we can grab the next set, including that. That one might need a little bit adjusting. And add 5 to that. 10, 15, maybe 15. And you see here we'll need to adjust this one. And do we add one more to slow it down? Well, maybe let's turn on the contour, see what it looks like. It's not very slow through there, through the middle. So let's add some more time through this section. We'll add a bit more. Yeah. Oh, maybe too much there. We'll take that out there. Yeah, and add some time to that. That's not a bit slower. Okay. And then we can go in on individual holes and dress this up. Now this wobble here was the cause of that. I think we'll add a bit more. Oh, add some time there, or do we? It's a bit. I think we add time. Then we'll add a little bit more time there. Yeah, we'll just even that out. Oh, that looks good. And then these ones here, we are going to add some time to smooth those around. Obviously, you can you're chasing time now. That's what everyone ends up doing, chasing time when they're trying to trim something up and neaten it up. Forward, pull that forward. Might drop that back again. Yeah, that's better. So you can tweak and fiddle to your heart's content. And then we just have to make sure that our times are not doing something stupid. So we turn on our time. What do we got there? 1547, 1552, 1567. So we can afford to put 5 in here. 1557. Did I put 5 in there or not? There you go. Oof, yuck. I think 57's good. All right. Okay, what do we got over this side? 49, 39, 69. We can add some more to that. 5 to that. Yeah, it looks good. This one here. 14, 45, and a little bit difficult to see those numbers there. Let's take that off. Turn this one on. 13, 46, 14. Yeah, okay. Oof. I liked it before. But this one here, I think we can add 5. Yeah, that looks nice and smooth. Look at that. And then we just go over here and check this 1863, 1893, 1913. Oh, they're in order. But this gap seems big between these two. So maybe we should just trim that up, minus a little time off it. Oh, perfect. This one here, we can add. Yeah, that looks good. I think that's good. Maybe we'll smooth this out. We'll add 5 to that one. Oof, yuck. Let's not do that. Okay. I think we're good. All right, so here we have our relief done. Our contours look nice and smooth. Softened the blow to the back wall. Times are all there. We can turn the times off. We got our holes. We can turn that off. We can then close this. We can turn on our temporal mesh. We can go back to 3D and we can look at our temporal mesh. And we can open up this temporal mesh viewer and we can magnify these to see, accentuate any bumps or problems in the temporal mesh. Looks good to me. You can change the colors a little bit of green in the middle. Okay, there we go. Looks good to me. Wow, fantastic. All right. We don't need to see that anymore. We can turn that off. And what would we like to do now? We'd like to fire it at least, right? You want to play back your firing mode. So we'll go to our Analyze tool. And in our analyze tool, we can play our blast animation. Cool, excellent, great work. And we can go to 2D here. Play it back. Oh, back here. Play. I've slowed it down, by the way, so when it hits 1,000, you'll see the blast fire at 1,000. There we go. Bit slow. A little bit of a memory issue there. We've been doing a lot of work, a lot of surfaces, so maybe I'll just dial it up. I can put it on super loop. Yeah, okay. Everything looks like it's in order. Good work, Brent and team. And then we need to tie it in, right? So we've got our harness wire here, there, we're going to select it. So we click on our harness wire, use our connector, and then we're going to, oh, my bad, see, tick that one too early. Go around this edge here. I don't know how, everyone has a different way of tying in electronics. Oh, that's no good there. And that needs to be here. There you go. Yeah, the good thing about Kirra is you just keep clicking it in. You don't have to reset things. We can change this down to 1 if you're concerned about it. And then we won't grab all those extras. So let's just go through here. We'll do this. And we'll make two harness loops, 2 paths, just to show you the tooling. Obviously, with electronics, you need to know your system, and the DT4s don't like like each path is a box, right? So we're going to do it like that, and then this one we're going to do it like this. That maybe this is how they loaded it, so they asked you to change the way you tie it in. Yeah. Obviously, there could be some work to do. I'm just going to click there. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to fix it up in a second. Okay, so that's our 2 harness lines. And what we're going to do with this one down here, we'll click on this here, the path tool, and we click here. Now, to see this in action, you click the channel colors. So you can click that, and then we're going to call this path A, and we'll call it 1200. I don't know what the PU is, but we'll assign it red. Okay, and then we're going to grab this one here. We'll make this blue. We'll call this B, and this will be like 1300. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we have our harnesses, and we've got 139 debts on our harness A, and we've got 48 on our second harness. We're all tied up. And then it's just a matter of exporting that for you. Now, the best tool to use for saving all this information is going to be in here. All this information's in here. So, we didn't do an information thing, did we? It doesn't matter because when you use the printing function, you can do it. But we won't have time to do the printing. It's like 1:50 right now. So I'll quickly do a text field here. Pretty easy. and we're just going to use the multi-line summary or the full summary. I think we'll use the full summary. We'll just click that there, Blast Effects full summary, and then we're just going to click that there. What have you done, Brent? Oh, see that? Silly me. I had text there. Radio. We'll just click that there. There you go. Full summary's done. In the tool, we'll get rid of that one. It's a cat, so we'll select it and hit the delete and entire entity, and then we can select this one over here. We could move it if you want. We'll select. We'll get the move tool. Oh, modify. There you go. That's what we want. Modify. We're in CAD. Yep. Good-o. All right. There you go. And now we have, oh, we can make that bigger if you don't like it. I don't know, 20. Whew, is that too big? 20? Anyway, this. Okay, there you go. So now you have a blast with a summary, all your stuff there. You can do a charging summary, all that sort of stuff. Up to you. I think that's about it. Oh, one thing, the save. Okay, all this can be saved in your by using a cap. So use the cap, export this as your cap and save it here, this first one. This is what you want to use because it is so you can send it to anyone, right? And so this is now tutorial. Maybe I'll make this available if people want it. Tutorial blast. Yeah, and yeah, and then you just save that. You can save that somewhere. I'm going to save it in projects. Tutorial blast. Save. Oh, you want to send your electronic detonators to their blast pack? You can do this one. Use electronic Davy, and we'll save that, and we can set that code down here to well, I know where this one is. It's in the south, so I'm going to export that. And I'm going to put it in projects as well, and we just leave it as PU because that's what it has to be for the programming unit to use it. Okay, done. Wow, what a lot of effort. 1 hour 53. There was a lot of talking in that. I need to wet my whistle from all that talking, but I guess it needed to be done because people just are scared of these new systems. Oh, if you want to print, there's your print manager stuff. You can just print it. There's a whole section I guess we need to do on printing, but kind of don't have time to do it. Anyway, I'd like to sign off. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a big, long tutorial, 2 hours. I'll go and put it on YouTube's. Okay. Oh, thanks very much. Oh, if you ever have any questions about this product, you can go to the help menu, and you can see all these help guides of how to do it, how to make it. Now, they might be a little bit out of date. I'm sorry, but there is some good information in here, especially if you're writing charging codes and printing tables. It'll tell you how to do all that. Yeah, it takes a long time. If you want to see the ICE presentation I did, you can go to here and click on this and see the ICE presentation and scroll through what is in Kirra. Yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed it. It's now about to hit 2 hours, so I'm going to stop recording and Hopefully you'll all watch it on YouTube. I'll know because I'll see the stats. Yeah, okay. That's a full blast design, mesh editing, target making, the lot. So good luck. I hope you enjoy using Kirra.